After a single Dragon Dance, this Aerodactyl comes through and sweeps the entire team. 5% left. What an incredible ending. Holy sh**. That was crazy. Dugio actually drafted his team in alphabetical order. And then I start showing something cool. I go into Nasty Plot Landorus. I don't know if you've ever seen a Nasty Plot Landorus in your life. It's like that. Pow! It's fast, right? We start off with the Grimmsnarl, and you know that is a telltale sign of a fast game. Why are you gonna boost and then switch? I'm getting so upset here. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another week of Pokemon Draft League. Now, I have some bad news and some good news. The bad news is I have already played this week. The good news is I have already played this week. I've been editing my videos, and I've noticed that when I actually play my match, I stop reacting, and I'm focused, and I'm sweating so hard trying to win. But the good news is that means we get to watch a replay now of me. That's right. I'm going to be reacting to my own game. And hopefully I'm able to react a little bit better. I'm going to set it to slow and tell you a little bit about what's going on. First off, it's me versus Era. Era, I believe, was rank 2 in the league at this point, having only lost to Tylord, our current reigning champion. Era is a very good player, but so am I. Now, when I click play here, you immediately are going to see that the chat just fills up with talk. I'm surprised that she didn't bring her Lantern. She's surprised I didn't bring Garganacl or Iron Moth. It's kind of some interesting stuff. I say I'm a wild boy. She says that's one way to put it. I think she's saying I'm an idiot. Who knows? Anyway, so I lead my Mismagius. Now, Era doesn't know this, but it is a Choice Scarf Mismagius. Now, that would KO the Spectrier. That would KO the Genesect. The Orthworm, because it's got a Mystical Fire. I think the Orthworm KO is close, actually, depending on if it's deaf or not. Knowing Era, it probably was. And then it could Shadow Ball, Lele, and Armarouge. Not certain if it gets KOs. The only thing it didn't beat was the Mandibuzz, who she did end up leading. So I end up going into the Breloom. I needed a Toxic Absorber, because I realized Toxic on Mandibuzz could just eat up my entire team. And I didn't want to bring Garganacl, so I brought Breloom, and she ends up placing the Toxic. And that triggers my Poison Heal. So I'm getting Poison Heal recovery and Leftovers recovery. That's right. I was expecting the Toxic, so I didn't bring my own Toxic Orb. And now we kind of play some mind games here, some substitutes, some Leech Seeds, some Spores going off. I'm going to put this into fast mode. But you see, I try and Spore it. I can't put Mandibuzz to sleep because of Overcoat. And we kind of just play some games here. I get the sub up versus the Genesect. She tries to U-turn it away, actually manages to break it, but I get a Leech Seed down an Orthworm, and now I'm in trouble. And I took the gamble hoping that I was fast in the Orthworm, because if I was slower, it could have Shed-tailed out, and then that's where the problem is, right? Because then I'm dealing with a Spectrier with a Substitute up, or an Armarouge, or a Tapu Lele, and I'm not sure what I was facing. But Breloom is really just a huge problem that Era clearly, I don't know if she hasn't prepped for, but she didn't prep for it properly, I'll say that. It was a great Mon who managed to chip down just a lot of her team and just genuinely be annoying. It was a great lead for me. Now I go Metagross on the Mandibuzz, and I'm able to get rocks up as she goes Spectrier. And now I'm going to pause here. It says Moltres Kanto. That's a little funny joke I like to do. But this is actually Moltres Galar, who is a dark flying type. And Spectrier just cannot do the damage it needs to do. And so I end up going into the Steel type. I was sort of worried about a Draining Kiss on Spectrier, as that's the only way it can break Dark types. So I actually go Terra Steel. And I start going Agility, I start Nasty Plotting. And then we just start spamming the Fiery Wraith is the plan. And honest to God, I really thought this was going to kill right here. And it brought it down to 7%. Which means it could have Moonblasted, maybe, or Focus Blasted. I don't know what this Lele had. Moonblast or Psychic probably wouldn't have broken through. But shit, maybe it could have triggered my Berserk. And if it was Focus Blast, it may have just outright KO'd. But we'll never know because we actually got the flinch, and that allows us to clear out the Tapu Lele for free. So Armarouge ends up going Terra Steel, allowing it to take the Fiery Wraith instead of being weak. but ends up just triggering my Berserk as it gets 2-hit KO'd. Now the question is that Berserk, is getting me that low gonna allow Genesect to like E-speed KO me? Turns out with leftover recovery, no. If I didn't have those leftovers, Genesect absolutely would have KO'd me there, but I got some healing over these turns and got back in the game, as Mandabuzz's foul play ends up killing me. Now, all right, let me pause it here for a second. What I want to talk about is EVs. If you are a special attacker, you're not using physical attacks, the best thing you should be doing is always lowering the attack EVs, the physical attack EVs, and the IVs. You want to have as little attack as possible because of the move foul play. It's just free defense for you, basically. Foul play does damage using your attack stat in the calculation. So if you Swords Dance, the enemy's foul play is actually going to hurt you more now. That's why Manabuzz is such a great answer to Kartana, because it boosts its attack so much. Now, I don't want to look at my EVs for this, but I really hope, and I am looking right now, I really hope I had negative attack. I did. Okay. Thank God, because if I didn't have negative attack on that Moltres, I would have felt so bad about getting foul play to death there. But there's nothing I could do. That foul play was killing. Really surprising, though. And now we have the Mandabuzz Breloom situation again, as Era only has 3 Pokemon left. And I got to play very careful, because the biggest problem on the team, Spectrier, is still almost at full. So I'm trying to deal with it. Draining Kiss isn't doing much, and I'm slowing it down. And I believe at this point, Breloom is now faster, so I'm going to be able to seed it. I'm getting leftovers and Toxic Orb recovery, and now the Leech Seed recovering is coming in. So it's kind of a gamble. Am I healing more than 42 a turn? No, but I'm healing just about. So it's kind of a fight between Breloom and the Spectrier that I decide I don't like the gamble. And I actually go Metagross. I don't know why I went Metagross there, but me and Era both decide to switch. And then I think, did we both just switch again? Did we just go back-to-back switches? I go Metagross. She goes Orthworm. Then what do? I go Landorus. She goes Mandabuzz. So we both double switch back-to-back. And then I start showing something cool. I go into Nasty Plot Landorus. I don't know if you've ever seen a Nasty Plot Landorus in your life, but I bet you Era hasn't. And I hit her with the surprise. Phytium Z. You see, Orthworm's Earth Eater makes it immune to typical Landorus Earthquake. So I built this special set just to catch her off guard. It's Nasty Plot and it's Focus Blast. And I use Phytium Z to make sure it doesn't miss. And then we go into the Choice Scarf Mismagius, pick up the Spectrier KO. I knew it would get the KO because it was a substitute Spectrier. But I was worried that she was going to end up going into the Mandabuzz and maybe slowing this game down a bit longer. I end up losing the Metagross. I should have gone straight into the Breloom and protecting my differential some more. But, you know, we live and we learn. As I'm just trying to make sure that I save my differential. So I tricked Choice Scarf onto it, locking it into foul play, and I was using some Regenerator hijinks with Slowking, and now we're going to set up a Leech Seed, and we're going to call this game. So next up is a match, I'm sorry to say, but I was actually here live for this one as well. And this match, it's like that. Pow! It's fast, right? We start off with the Grimmsnarl, and you know that is a telltale sign of a fast game. It starts setting up screens. It prevents the Dugtrio from getting a substitute by using Taunt. And once these screens go up, it's a wrap. We Parting Shot, we go into the Aerodactyl. Now the Aerodactyl is minus attack, the screens are up, and it just doesn't have the damage output to beat the Aerodactyl. So David goes and starts Dragon Dancing as Garrett responds by going to the Skarmory. And this is where I think the game is over. Garrett didn't have anything to stop the Aerodactyl. Like, even if that Toxic landed, Aerodactyl would have killed Garrett too fast to have died. There was honestly just no answer to it on the team. After a single Dragon Dance, this Aerodactyl comes through and sweeps the entire team. And look at this. I will say that is a mistake from David, who has revealed Dual Wing Beat, ends up Earthquaking the Mimikyu. Dual Wing Beat is a 2-hit move. So that means it could have broken the disguise with the first hit and then KO'd with the second hit. Goof Meek is typically one of the middling players in our league and is having a rough season. Whereas the Wonder Review here is kind of having the opposite. The Wonder Review is typically one of our lower ranked players, but currently is actually top fragging his division. I believe the Wonder View is at the top using this stall ditto trick room team it has. It's very unique style, and I'm enjoying watching these games a lot. Now I'm going to put this in fast forward because I know this player likes to play it slow, and I don't want to sit here all day. So we get a Quagsire lead versus the Arachnid. Are they going to trade Toxics? No, we get a Toxic into a Stealth Rock trade. I am being told of a live match going live soon, but I think we're going to just not do live matches today because, you know, they take forever to make up their minds. Even though they can be a little more hype, it doesn't convert to the YouTube video as well. And to you YouTube viewers, I appreciate you. I enjoy you guys so much. All right. So we're just seeing a lot of poison this match, which we're seeing Toxics getting traded left and right, and Wonder View is getting up Stealth Rocks and Spikes early, which is going to be very useful. Grant Meek says, how dare you slander me? What sort of slander did I slander? Anyway. So we're seeing the Psychics versus the Recovers. Latios better, like, make some decisions fast. What's interesting is that is a Mega Latios, and since the Mega Mawile has already evolved, that thing is stuck in its regular Latios form. Now, I know Goofmeek has considered some trades, and might fix up that hole on the team as Arachnid tries to Toxic the Clodsire and tries to liquidate the Clodsire, but can't do either. It's getting water absorbed. It's a poison type. It is just not the matchup for Arachnid. So now we're in an even situation. It's a 5-on-5, minus the Slowking Galar, minus the Chandelure. Also, how dare you slander me? I did not mess up the standings. Grant, what do you mean? I didn't slander you. If Hayden said it, then Hayden said it, not me. Get off my back. All right, now, is he about to Revival Blessing to try and get the Slowking back? No, he ends up setting the Trick Room, getting a big Bug Buzz KO on the Latios. And now we have one of the scariest Trick Room Pokemon alive! Holy shit! Oh my god, let's drop a pause there. Very exciting. So, Trick Room goes up. Marowak Alola is on the field. It's a fire type in the face of Mega Mawile, a fairy steel type. Loves that matchup. Mawile typically just gets brutalized by Marowak, even outside of Trick Room, and Trick Room just makes it an even stronger Pokemon. However, Sucker Punch is a priority move, and priority still acts as normal inside Trick Room, and it gets a giant Swords Dance boosted Sucker Punch into Marowak's face, getting an early KO. Now, Riley, aka the Wonder of You, makes a smart play and decides, okay, well, if you're going to have stat boost, I'm going to have stat boost too. Drops in the Ditto. Pow! Attempts to Sucker Punch, but you can't both Sucker Punch. The second Sucker Punch will fail, as Riley's Sucker Punch does fail, and he ends up switching out, trying to save his Ditto. Quagsire getting whittled down. Both teams are actually getting very low all around as the Quagsire wall fails. Rabaska hits the field. Is he going to Revival Blessing someone back? No, just KOing the Arachnid, or at least trying. The Arachnid back in the game with the Leech Life. As Clodsire hits the field. Correct decision, Riley. You kind of proved that the Arachnid has nothing to do about Clodsire, so putting that on the field was the right decision. Although, I would maybe take this time to set up more spikes. I otherwise think you pretty much made a perfect play, or at least a perfect switch. Brute Bonnet hits the field and starts growthing, boosting its attack stat, but it gets Toxicked, as getting a big KO. Big KO on the Clodsire. And the Brute Bonnet goes down. It's 1-1 in an even matchup. Goodra versus Ditto. The Goodra versus Goodra. The Earthquake comes out. 5% left. What an incredible ending. Holy shit. That was crazy. That was really a great match. Thank you so much for the recommendation, Riley. I really loved that match. Come on, guys. Did you love that as much as I did? That was a really cool match. Haymaker versus Doogie-O. Versus Doogie-O, who has maybe the most interesting team in the league. If you don't know, Doogie-O actually drafted his team in alphabetical order. Basically went to the most points he could get in a category and then picking the first Pokemon alphabetically. So we have Annihilate, A, Aegislash, A, Absol, A, Alcremie, A, And then Darmanitan and Darkrai, D, still very early alphabet letters. He seems to like Mr. Bean his way through these games and just somehow make the wrong decision into the right decision. And it has been exciting to watch as I think he's got one win this season and almost beat the king. Our reigning champion got brought down to one Pokemon remaining by Dugio. So let's put Dugio in the bad guy's position. No, let's put him in the hero position because that's who we're rooting for today. With Haymaker and the bad guys, let's see how this game goes. All right, Shuckle hits the field, decides to move out on the Aegislash. Probably a good decision. Shuckle likes to set up. It's a common lead, but Aegislash is just a super high power Pokemon. Palifin tries to flip turn out and trigger its hero mode, which gives it the base stat total of a freaking Groudon. He goes for a flip turn back to back and manages to get out. Now the Bisharp is in. Interesting matchup. Let's see what the Aegislash does. It King Shields. Okay, interesting. So if you don't know, King's Shield lowers the opponent's attack if they hit you. And Haymaker actually didn't fall for that. Doesn't attack and uses Bisharp as a rocker. And when you have Shuckle on the team, one of the premier rockers, running rocks on Bisharp and making it work is very cool. I enjoyed that play. Well done. Now I want to see what the Shuckle is running because it's clearly not Stealth Rocks. Its Absol comes in, hits a big superpower, KOing the Bisharp and taking an early lead. Togekiss comes in, a good switch for that, but Aegislash is even better versus Togekiss, but it's just getting roasted alive. It's getting roasted alive as it gets parried, it gets flamethrowered, it gets one attack off that doesn't kill, and then its Life Orb takes itself out. Darmanitan on the field starts Flare Blitzing, and that is just not going to do it versus a Skeledirge. Yeah, you want to pull that back and bring it back when it's a little more useful. Now, Alcremie is an interesting switch. I really feel like Alcremie hit the field because Dugio does not know how to handle Skeledirge. A lot of players don't know how to handle a wall such as this, as Haymaker's just trying to make sure he gets burns on everyone on Dugio's team. And now he's healing up, and I have a feeling this game is about to take a turn for the slower. Dugio's Calm Mind boosting, which isn't going to work because Skeledirge is unaware and doesn't care about your stat boost. It's acting as if there's none. And then he starts Torch Songing and gets his own attack boost, and Darmanitan falls, and it's starting to look really bad. Putting the Dark type in versus the Skeledirge is a good decision. He forced... Jesus fucking Christ. This is what I mean. You really needed to remove that Skeledirge as soon as you could, and you decide to Swords Dance. And lucky you, Haymaker's smart, and actually switched the Skeledirge out, protecting it. And the Sucker Punch, and maybe I'm just not giving him enough credit, and maybe that was the smart play, but shit. How does Dugio keep doing it? And then the Buzzwole comes and KOs. I guess you just, I just don't know. Anyway, I'm happy to see the Annihilate hit the field. Rage Fist gets boosted. Drain Punch does nothing. But these Leech Lives are going to keep boosting the Rage Fist damage. I hope that we see Dugio actually use the move here. Now, if you don't know, Rage Fist boosting, every time you take a physical hit, Jesus Christ, I can't even comment about what's happening. Every time you take a physical hit, base power of Rage Fist goes up 50, which is freaking massive. However, if you switch, the Rage Fist boost stays. Some people don't know that. Some people assume it's like a regular boosting move where, like, once you switch, that boost goes away. No, Rage Fist stays all game. So he could hit another Rage Fist right now if he wants it. And now Rage Fist just got boosted harder. Now he's bulking up, getting his damage up. What is he doing? Why are you gonna boost and then switch? I'm getting so upset here. I'm getting so upset. Can you please just Rage Fist with the Annihilate now? As the Leech Life goes off, it's now, damn it. And then he Ice Punches. I'm so upset. Why would you do that?